welcome to the Everyday Board Game Podcast with your hosts, Daniel.
And Daniel.
And today we're joining us with two special guests. We have...
Dammit, Dom.
And...
GameheadGeek.
Yeah, they're laughing because I completely janked up last week's outro, or last episode's outro. It happens.
And he's screwing up this week's intro. So.
And this intro, back to back. Well, when you go this long without filming in between episodes, it tends to mess with you for a little bit. And we had, a whole 5-minute break or something there? We're breaking down our top 100s here at Everyday Board Games with our friends here. A lot of these games are games that we all introduced to each other, so we're curious to see that. We thought it would be really fun. And this is GameheadGeek's and Dammit Dom's first top 100s with us. We're breaking down all as a group, our top 50. Today is going to be number 30 through 21. And I think that pretty much covers it. Anything else that you guys want to say before we get into today's episode? Rockin'.
Flip the coin of doom.
So we're going to see what our turn order is. There we go. Same as always.
All right,
starting with GameheadGeek on number 30.
Number 30 is Flamecraft. This I bought this game. I think either Dom or Dom, you had this, right? Do you have this?
I do have it.
I thought you were the first one that had it.
I have it too.
Was I the first one to have it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have since then upgraded my coins and even have the little miniatures on this one. I really enjoyed this game. The simple aspect of just trying to build up and gather resources, putting in dragons in certain stores and changing things out. It's just a great game, and I love the artwork in it. It's a lot of fun. So that is definitely, I don't know, I would definitely look at this if you haven't tried this yet, which I'm pretty sure most people have, unless you've been living under a rock. So that's Flamecraft.
Oh, this is one I got to get to the table. It's still on my shelf of shame.
Really?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Even I have this game.
And I played it. I played, you and me played a 2-player version of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. It's surprising how much depth there is in two different choices.
For a
really
small
cool.
little game, too. Well, smallish, comparatively, the choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love the art on that, too. It's so good. All right. So,
and that map, too, that it comes with was really impressive.
Oh, yeah. It really is. The component quality is just top-notch for it. All right, my number 30, and just as I've noticed themes on different ones of my groups of 10, this one is going to go through an absolute roller coaster of just some of the prettiest and ugliest games that are on my top 10.
Sounds
top
about
30.
right when it comes to you.
I know. It's
dry, dusty Euros.
It's always kind of a mixed bag, but we're starting off strong. We're going one of the prettiest games that I own by far. I love the theme on this, and this is the game that put board and dice on the map for me. Up until then, I hadn't played too many of their games. I thought they were all really heavy Euros. This one is a lighter card game, action, engine building, Inuit the Snowfolk. So much. This is one that I know Daniel really enjoyed after I taught it to you. And it, as soon as we saw it at a store, you're like, I don't care if it's full MSRP. That's mine.
Well, yeah.
I adore this game. I'm so glad I picked it up. It was kind of a whim. I got it on a Bookman's run, and I was like, oh, that one looks really cool. Let me just get it. I'll give it a chance. And I'm so glad I did. This has been, honestly, one of my just favorite games of all time.
Yep, that was definitely a Dammit Danny game.
Yeah,
that was a Dammit Danny.
So good. So good. It was previously number 20 on my last list, and it was new at that point.
So, my number 30 is a game that I wanted for a long time, except, GameheadGeek got it first, and then brought it. So, this one is Fortune and Glory. The cliffhanger game. So, yeah, this one, when we played it, it was just like, this is pulp noir, Indiana Jones, you name it, you're just going out there, you're doing the stuff, trying to, claim treasures, and just have, 15 coins at the end? And be
unless you're a certain character and you need 17.
Yeah. and be the first person there. It's a race game. It was one of those games that it's memorable because it literally came down to the last turn between Me and you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was you two. It wasn't me.
And whoever could get to their city first. So, and one of us happened to roll slightly higher than the other one, and it was like, oh, yep, and we're done.
Yep, it ended.
Yep. So
You weren't there for that one, were you?
No.
I was not either.
Yeah, that's right. It was just the three of us playing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just pure fun, and it's one that I still think about and want to get back to the table more often. So that is Fortune and Glory, the cliffhanger game.
All right, my number 30 is the game I champion out of this entire group. I don't think it's going to be on any of your guys' list because I'm just the one that loves this game so much. I play the app version of it. I've shown it to a lot of people. It is a fun little deck builder. It's been on my list. This is the third time on the list, and it just keeps climbing. Originally jumped in at 77 and went to 69, and now it is at 30. This is Ascension. I adore this game. I enjoy everything about it. I'm looking forward to the new expansion that's coming out. I even got I got everything that I'm still missing from this game. And I got the big box where I can put it all together with a magnetic board. This way I can just play whatever set I want to play. I do enjoy the mess out of this game. And again, my number 30, Ascension.
It's a good one.
Yep, it just missed out on mine. It's like in the 150.
You need to try Shards of Infinity.
I own it, I just haven't played it yet. And it's just because I love this game. It's fantastic.
I don't think it'll replace it, but I think it'll climb with it.
All right, Gamehead, you're 29.
Yeah, my 29 is... I'm wondering if this might be higher on somebody else's. I don't know.
Do you have a prediction who? If it were?
If anybody, it'd be Dom. So I would almost say it would definitely be in his top 100. I just don't know if it would be higher than what I have it at, and that's Nita Valier.
Mm.
So I love the as soon as Dom showed this to me, I was like, I need to pick this up. And then I just found on their website that they had done like a coin setup for this, so you can actually get like poker chips for coins instead of the cardboard pieces, and even a play mat. But the set collection is amazing, and how they play off of each other. This is all around just an easy, simple game to pick up and play with anybody, but still kind of makes you think a little bit while you're doing it. Like, should I go for that? Should I use my bigger coin to outbeat them, or can I get away with like maybe a smaller coin enough to beat some people, but not everybody? So,
Oh, yeah. It's not on my list. I do enjoy it, though.
yeah, I knew it would be.
I really like it.
If it was on anybody's, it would be Dom's, but I don't know if it is or not.
I don't know either.
We'll find out. We'll find out. My number 29 is the first of only 2 games that are new to my list. Technically 3, but there's 2 on here. This one was one that you and I had the pleasure of learning at the Gamma Expo.
Really? This is that high.
Earth.
Yeah.
Earth.
That's...
Yes.
Wow.
And here's why. Like, it's an engine building, super card heavy, like lots of things to do, right? Everyone who's played Wingspan knows that feeling. Everyone who's played Everdell knows that feeling. You've played Terraforming Mars knows that feeling. The reason this is so high is because it takes the best parts of every single one of those games and puts it together into one package. Like in Wingspan, you have that very concise, like you choose the action, that's what you're doing, and you could build an engine from there. Terraforming Mars has just the absolute shenanigan, big cards that do massive movements, right? Everdell has that tableau building that you're building off of it, and things ping off of each other. This does all of those. The best part of all those engine building games is Earth in my eyes. This was the first one that ever did that for me. I adore
Also has
Earth.
the follow mechanism, too.
And it has that beautiful follow. I mean, it's not even a follow mechanism. It's literally it's like a Puerto Rico. One person chooses the action, everyone gets the action. Just whoever picks it gets a better version of the action. But if you've built your tableau well enough, you're still going crazy. And it plays quick because it's all simultaneous, too. Oh my god. If you haven't tried it, if you like any of the previously named games, go try Earth. It's so good.
it's a good game. It
Yeah.
didn't make my top 100.
It's, oh my god. It's,
You can also find a review on our YouTube channel.
Yes. I love it.
I think if I owned this probably would have been at least in my top 100.
You've played this, right?
I have.
Yeah, you played it with us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and random shout out, Connor Mergui, the owner of Inside Up Games, best demo I've ever seen at a convention.
It was a great demo.
He taught that so well. I know that was kind of his thing, but man, he was a rock star at it.
And we were the last ones of the night, so
Yeah.
I mean, he'd been doing it for hours.
He should have been very tired, very succinct. He could have done that in his sleep. Brilliant demo.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to get that shout out.
All right, you're number 29.
All right, my number 29 might be a crossover with somebody. We'll see, or its sequel. It's definitely not going to be Danny.
Well, it was wishful thinking, I suppose. Cheers.
This one is the original of the two games that most people know. This is also an Awakened Realms game. This is Lords of Hellas.
Oh.
It didn't make it. I haven't played it.
Did you miss like other plays?
I don't think I've ever played it.
Oh, not to
I don't remember it. Maybe.
Because
I brought this to one of our game nights.
I thought you did, yeah.
Yeah, I think you played it. It's the one where we're building the Greek statues of the gods.
Oh, yes, that's the
You weren't a
one.
fan of it, but you played it.
Yeah, okay.
There's
yeah,
4 ways to
I
win.
remember it.
There's area control. You're gonna hunt monsters, and if you kill 3, you win.
Yep.
You can build temples. If you control 5 temples at the end of the game, or you can end the game, and then if the statue gets completed, whoever controls the statue at the end of 3 turns is the person that wins the game, unless
Gotcha.
one of those other conditions is met before then. So
Yeah, I think you got hosed on it too, and I think that was one of the notes where you're like, no, I'm okay.
No, I'm the one that got hosed on it, and I still like the game. It just didn't make my
Okay.
top 100.
I know somebody got hosted because I felt bad while we were playing it.
But I mean, the miniatures are great in this game. Like,
They're good.
you want to see just giant miniatures, and it's cool because you literally like, you know what? Okay, I'm done. I'm going to build a statue. You can choose any statue on the board to build.
Yeah.
And you get, it's just boom, and it keeps the game moving because there's five main actions to choose from, and then you reset. And when people reset, they just build part of the statue. You don't have to build the same one, so you control how long the game goes. So, and then the fun way to do it, there's that shoot the moon aspect with, I'm just going to go out and kill 3 monsters. It's great when you can get it done, but it is tough to do. But it's pure fun, is what it is. So that's my number 29, Lords of Hellas.
All right, my number 29 has steadily climbed to sort of climbed my list. It actually entered my list at 61, fell out last year, or the last time we did this, at 117. But because of an expansion, gave it the design that it really should have been to begin with, made it jump. And I enjoy it. And it's one of my favorite themes of everything. Post-apocalyptic, based off a video game series. This is Fallout.
Oh,
so
good.
the board game aspect, I love it. The co-op expansion is what fixed it. It made it such more realistic, much more reliable. I love the story in it when you're going through the different decks and you have to meet certain criteria and we're working together as a group. It just hits so well on it. And again, like I said, I'm a sucker for Fallout. That's like one of my favorite themes. I love post-apocalyptic stuff. And so for me, this easily climbed back in my top 100. And every time it popped up on my Pub Meeple when we were doing it, I'm like, the co-op. I refuse to play this game as a competitive game anymore because it is fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, the adventure card system that they have in there, where one mission unlocks another, and it has this person like that. I care zero about Fallout. That game's awesome.
Yeah, and then I love the dice too. So like they hit for a certain way for the bad guy, but the VAT system works really good for us. So I love every aspect of this game. It needed that co-op, and it should have been co-op from the beginning. In all honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
That 100% fixed that game. because I own it. And
I'm not like the original.
I mean, the original was
No,
okay.
the original's fine, but like I
and
said,
it's not even something I would normally like.
it came
really
onto my
it.
list when I first played it at 61, and it fell off, but just because it doesn't, it's too long for a competitive game. You throw that co-op in there, and it went from 117 to 29 just because of that co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's one of those that I only played it co-op, so I've never played the other way, and I thought it was a great game, but it's one that he has, so I was like, I don't need to own it myself, though.
Yeah. All right, your number 28?
28 is Twilight Imperium 4th Edition.
Hey, it's a crossover.
It is crossover. As a matter of fact, I think this one's going to have a lot of crossovers, this list here.
At least with one more person.
Huh?
Probably at least with one more person, thankfully.
Yeah, and like I said, it's one of those that when we played this, anytime someone talks about this game, they always talk about how long it is. And when we played this, it did not feel like we sat there for 5 hours playing a game. I honestly felt like we just sat down and maybe like 2 hours later we were done. No. And it's just, like I said, the downside is because it's such a big game, it doesn't get played a lot. Because that is a whole day kind of game, but it's one of those that I'm glad I own it, and I'm glad I picked it up, because it is just it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I said when I mentioned it earlier in one of the past episodes, it's a 3 to 4 hour game we played, or 4 hours roughly for 3-player games. I played it twice at 3 players. You're right. It doesn't feel like we played it for 3 hours. It's like, oh, the game's almost done. Holy crap! It's already been 3 hours. What?
Yeah.
There are some games that like outstay their welcome, like when playing that long, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but we played at 3 hours or 3 players, and it was that long. Like I would be willing to play this at 6 because I'd be like and spend like twice as long playing it just because of what it does. It was really cool.
Yep.
Cool. All right, my number 28 is another Phil Walker Harding game. Climbed up from 54 and 51 the time before that. Speaking of building statues, right? This is Imhotep. The minis aren't as nice on this one. They're kind of ugly cubes.
They're kind of square.
Kind of square.
You can
right?
3D print yourself some boats.
That's true. I may or may not have. Yeah, no, the Imhotep works really well. On your turn, you're basically either sending one of your cubes out to one of the boats, sailing a boat once it gets a certain number, or just getting more cubes. Like, that's it, right? It doesn't need to have, like, a crazy amount of rules. Phil Walker Harding, this is a perfect example of like how much you can do with a simple rule set and a simple idea, and let the players have that agency to like choose their fate and how they're going to bring everything out, and the timing of everything. It just works really well, and of course the modularity of it, like how everything has multiple boards, multiple ways of scoring. I think this is a fantastic game. So Imhotep, and actually the cover art, I really like the cover art personally. I think Tames of Cosmos did a really good job on that cover art.
And you said this is the one that put Phil Walker Harding on the map for you, right?
It's one of them. Yeah, I mean, I already knew about Sushi Go and like a few others, but like this one, I was like, whoa, like what? Huh? This guy does this too. This is interesting. Yeah. So it's probably not my favorite Phil Walker Harding, but we'll see later on in the list. But it is one of mine.
All right, so my 28 is a newer game. I don't know if it'll be on anybody else's list. This is kind of one of the games that I just really like, been a champion of. I think some other people also did pick it up, but I don't know if it made their list. This one is Dragon Keepers. So, don't know if it made anybody's list.
It did not make my list, but I really like this game.
It's enjoyable.
Personally, yeah. Yes, I did get a copy thanks to our friend GameheadGeek over here.
So this one is a hand management game. So you're drawing cards. You get to see what the cards are, but what you don't know is what the scoring condition is going to be.
Yeah.
But it does allow you to adjust that scoring condition so you can meet it, and then everybody else at the table gets to also score it if they have it in their hand, if they managed it right.
Yep.
So it's just a fun game. You start with the lowest number of stuff, except for your jewels, which are the highest number. They go high to low, but your amulets go low to high. So you're like, okay, well, I'm going to get these pieces. I'm going to get them quick, but they're not worth many points. But I get big points off the jewels. And as you get later in the game, it's like, you know what? I'm not really worried about the drills. I want those high pieces so I can score really well at the end. So, I mean, yeah, it's one of those games that, to me, hand management is another great thing. And the fact that it gives you the agency to be able to change that scoring condition after you drop and you go, oh, that is not the card I wanted there.
Yep.
I was hoping to get something a little lower because I only have a couple of those and it wants 5 of them. So, no, it's just one of those games that, I mean, it really hit well for me. This is Dragon Keepers.
Another one of those artist and designer combos.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Menzel, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. I like his stuff a lot, too.
Hey, Gamehead Geek, what was your number 30?
My number 30 was Flamecraft.
And your 28 was Dragon Keepers. I'm keeping up with the theme. I have a dragon game on my list here. It is my 28. It's new to the list. I mentioned it earlier during the top 50. Connie Vogelman really got on my map, and it's because of this game right here as well. This is Wormspan. I really dug this one. First off, the artwork is fantastic. I love the watercolor art in this game. But what I really like about this game is the unique twist that they did to this one where you have to excavate the cave to put more dragons into it. The fact that you have your little explorer who's going through the caves that's putting all the resources and you're trying to get as much points on your baby dragons by feeding them milk. So it has a lot of really cool mechanisms. It's a little bit harder than, say, something like the Wingspan. It's the next step version of it, and then the newest one that was just recently announced, Finspan, which is supposed to be the simpler version of this trilogy. I haven't played that one yet, so it's not going to be on my top 100 at all because it's relatively new. It hasn't come out yet.
Spoilers.
Well, no, it's not going to be because I haven't played it yet, and I already said that I did all this in January. So, but Wormspan, I do like this a lot. Again, I love the changes aspect of it. I love you have to use the coins to do actions, but you have to make sure you have enough coins to do extra actions on your turn. So I love that aspect. And then the fact that you're excavating the cave, so you have a whole other set of cards to help build the caves, and you get points off that or abilities off of that. It's really neat. I enjoy the mess out of this game, Wormspan.
I need to get this played. I still have not had a chance to play it.
I'm curious to try it, too.
I need to play this.
In fact, when I do get my Finspan, I already told my other game group that I'm going to take it over there and we're going to do the Spaniverse. We're going to go Finspan, Wingspan, Wormspan.
It's funny because I really want to try that Finspan because there's already people talking about it quite a bit that do reviews and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I'm kind of interested.
All right, your number 27.
My number 27 is... It's a dice chucker game. But what's nice about this one is you get to change the face of your dice. And it is Dice Forge. This is one of those games that, again, the simplicity of it and just the overall, like, how you can manipulate that dice to make, like, one really cool dice. Kind of like what you were saying with changing out the cards to make, like, that one really cool card. That's how I feel in this. Is like you can make some really cool dice, and then when you roll them, and it's just right, and you're just like, oh yeah, like you could just do a ton of stuff with it.
Yeah, I really like the mirror combo where you put a mirror on one side of the die, and you really roll that really thing, and you got the 6 coins or something like that, and you roll that mirror, and you're like 12 coins, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just and when you get that, like you're just like yes.
Yeah.
Like, there's those awesome moments, and everybody's like, oh, damn it, kind of thing. So, but that is my number 27 is Dice Forge. The only thing I don't like about it is I'm always scared that if I pick it off wrong or something like that, it's not going to go back in, because I think you had some issues with one of yours at one point.
Yeah, so I highly recommend if you get a chance, sometimes you can get it on the Board Game Geek store. They have rattle bones where they have the little picks where it helps you get the die face out. Grab one of those. It's very helpful.
I actually had 3D printed the pinchers.
Oh, okay.
It. So I have like little deals that everybody gets, and I 3D printed, and it helps pull off the face straight instead of like picking it off.
That's cool. Yeah, great pick. That's talk about stand-up moments. Like that has it in space.
It's just not in my top 100. I did rate it pretty high.
Same. Yeah. Cool. My number 27 is just one of the funnest party games, and it's one of those ones where you're allowed to bluff, but you can still win even if you don't. That's kind of its big thing. You're bringing in either cheese, chickens, bread, or apples, and you bring them in. Sometimes some meat sneaks in there, but don't worry, pay off the sheriff, you'll be fine. Sheriff of Nottingham. My God, do I like this game. This is one of those games that, like, allows shenanigans and embraces the fact that it's like we all know, like, when you play games like Monopoly, it just makes it funny. We're like, I'll offer you $200 Monopoly dollars and $20 real dollars for this property, right? You know, when you can make those, like, really shenanigan deals, I love that this embraces that whole thing. It's like, well, not only do I not want you to look at my bag, I'll give you 10 coins if you look in his bag. What is going on here? Contingent on that alone. Like, it's so good. Sheriff of Nottingham is just such a great party game.
Don't worry, I'll give you a piece of cheese that's in the bag.
Yeah, you can keep one of the cheeses. That's fine. But you can't look at anything else.
Have you guys played the Disney version of this?
I have, yes.
Is it the exact same game, or did they change some stuff up?
So, it is... they changed one little aspect, is that once you get 3 of a certain type of good, you are giving to the poor. So this is Robin Hood, the Disney version. You're giving to the poor, and then you take a token of that character, and it basically just acts as like a 3 point of like whatever good you're giving up, right? And it's worth the same value. The only problem is the pieces and components are really chintzy in the Simon version of it. They're very thin cards. They're not great. It doesn't have like the nice holder, and it only plays up to 5 players, and it's more expensive because of the license.
Is it a Simon? I thought Simon got rid of it.
No. It used to be Arcane Wonders, Dice Tower Essential. Simon bought it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, because their version of Sheriff of Nottingham added the 6-player and added the Merry Men expansion into the box,
yep.
And then it's $10 more for the Robin Hood version, which does not have the expansion stuff. So there's that.
Dammit, Dom, you're 27.
So my 27 is another Portal game. And this one is only higher right now because I've played it more. And I'm pretty sure at some point one of the other ones might show up on this. This is Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North.
Yep.
So it's you get a deck of cards, you try to play your deck the best you can, get the most points you can. And and that's pretty much the game. It's pretty simple game. Decks vary in complexity because just depending. But it is one of those games. Like, to me, it just hit right, and it still does. I mean, I want to try out all the different decks. It's one of those games where it's just like, okay. I might have lost with this other deck, but I want to try this deck, see if I can win with it. Or I might have won with this deck, but I'm going to go back to this other deck and see if I can figure out how it works. So it's just one of those games. The more you play it, the better you get at it. And the more you understand the different decks. So that is my number 27, Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North.
I do not have a Portal game anymore on this list.
Fell off, huh?
Neither do I.
So my number 27 is another new one to the list. I thought this would have made your top 100. It probably is further back. And it's just because it's one that we thoroughly enjoy. I love the competitive and the co-op version of it. And this is Hitster.
Wow.
It's a fun little party game.
Wow.
I love music. Yeah. You and me
are
real.
Yeah. We hold our own.
Yeah. I've ridden in a car with them.
I can't wait till we play this while driving.
Yeah. But no, it goes down really well. I've shown it to, again, this is another one like Caution Signs that I mentioned earlier in the past episode that I took up to my family gathering for Christmas, and it went down really well there. Yep. And I love the fact that it works with Spotify, and since I do already have the premium edition, it's fantastic. I to the point where we've looked at more Hitsters, and you and me both want the bingo version.
Yeah, you need to see Hitster Bingo. If you guys haven't seen that, we'll show you after the podcast. It's the wildest thing.
It is hilarious. So I want them to bring that version of it. But yeah, it goes down well. It shows really well to any group I play. So that is Hitster.
That is number 170 on my list.
Wow.
I don't think
Alright.
I cracked the top 200 on mine.
It was
My
our music file.
26. My number 26 is Wonderland Wars.
Oh. Wow.
I like this game a lot, and I've been trying to get this back to the table more. It's a bag building game, and it's Alice in Wonderland theme, which I thought is really cool. And it's super simple. I mean, when you start reading the rules or looking at it, like, man, this is going to be complex. It's going to take a while, but it goes really quickly because everybody's always engaged. When you're doing the tea party, and then when you go to then fighting the battles, like, if you're not in the battle, you can bet who's going to be in it. So then you're like, and it kind of helps when people bet against you or bet for you, because then they kind of egg the other people on, like, because it has a push your luck aspect, like, keep pulling out of your bag. Let's see if you get that madness, and it just throws everything off. And I really enjoyed it. So it definitely is something to look into. It is Wonderland Wars. That is 26 for me.
You need to get the chips for it, though.
I do have.
He does have the
everything
chips.
for it.
Yeah.
That's why it's so high on his list.
Yeah. He's got the upgraded components.
Yeah. No, that was definitely it was because I think because I brought it out one day so that way we both could get it off for our shelf of shames. Yeah, and I have everything for it. It's
we had to bust out one of the side tables for it. Just to hold all the components.
It is a table hog. I will say that. This is a table hog, but definitely worth it.
My number 26 is climbed from 97 last time.
Wow.
And the reason being is I used to lump these two games together. I talked about the predecessor before at number 47. This is Codenames Duet, the cooperative version of Codenames. It's just what they did to it just made it sing. I already liked Codenames, but now I don't need to play Codenames because I have Duet now. I like how it plays a smaller player count. You're working together. You're trying to give each other clues. The system of how one person has some tiles that are assassins that other people may or may not have as assassins. I just love that system, and the fact I've actually played a number of the games in the campaign mode, over with the map, and that tells you different ways of how to differentiate it, how many innocent bystanders you can find, how many tokens, how many turns you have to do stuff. It's a simple little change that they honestly didn't have to do, and it just works really well. Codenames Duet, my number 26. Awesome game.
So my number 26 I know is not going to be on anybody else's list, even though somebody else here owns it. They just haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Oh.
They got a free copy of it, too. Because my brother
to play this.
Because my brother got an extra copy, so GameheadGeek got a free copy out of this. This is Shadowrun Sprawl Ops. So this is worker placement meets dice chucking. So you're basically you run, if you know anything about the Shadowrun universe, you're running Shadowruns to build up your characters, and once you get your characters built up, you're trying to take on the final mission. And it's basically one shot. Yeah, I've seen people win with handfuls of dice, and I've seen people win with the bare minimum. It's like, oh, you know what? I can get everything there. All right, I'm just gonna go for it. And you're like, I'm one turn away from being ready to go, and I gotta go now. And they're ahead of you in line, and they win the game, and it's over. And you're like, oh, because there's so much, just shouting at the table. It's like, no, come on, don't get that last one. We don't want you to get that last one because I'm next and I can finish this mission. So
how long is this game?
It's probably, it depends on when you feel you're ready to go, because it literally is just a race to the end. So I've seen it last anywhere between, I've seen it last an hour and I've seen it last 2 hours, and both are fun. I've seen people just, like I said, load up and go for it, and then which is usually longer. And then I've seen people you know what? I'm fine with it. I'm ready to go, and just and you're like, are you kidding me? I couldn't even get a regular mission to do that, and you do it on the final mission.
If you want to teach this the next time I play, I'll bring it, because I finally unwrapped everything and put it all together. So.
Oh, for sure, I'll teach it. Because I haven't even had a chance to try the co-op version as well. Because it's both competitive and co-op. But I'll teach the competitive version because it is just it is fun just to play. If you like games like Tidal Blades or Champions of Midgar, it's got the same type of feel except with the Shadowrun.
See, you just right up my alley right there, Doc.
So that's my number 26, Shadowrun Sprawl Ops.
All right, my number 26 has been on my list consistently in the same general area. It appeared on the list at 31. It was 25 last time, and now it's at 26. So it's been sitting in this sweet spot. It's probably by far, from what I was looking at, is my favorite historical game here. And that is Freedom, the Underground Railroad. I love everything. I'm a history major back in the day. I do enjoy the history themes. You mentioned trekking through history.
Yep.
Not on this top half. I think it might be in the further back half when we do record those later on. But yeah, this is just, oh my god, it's so good. I love the historical pictures that are on there. The theme is a little tough for some people, but I do enjoy the historical concept of this game. I would like some upgraded components for this game because I don't want just cubes. I understand why they went that route. It's a lot cheaper. I do have the upgraded lantern. And I just want a little bit more stuff for this. It's a fantastic game, and you don't have to like change the cubes and stuff like that. I understand why they don't want to do that because the concept. But instead of little pawns, give me like somebody on a horse or something like that. That would be very helpful for the catchers. But yeah, other than that, I love this game. Academy Games really went on the map because of this game for me. And they're kind of hit or miss nowadays for some of their stuff, but I really still dig this one. Freedom, the Underground Railroad.
You picked that up at Dice Tower West, didn't you? We played it, and you're like, I'm buying this.
Oh, I knew I was going to buy it. I just wanted to play it beforehand. But yeah, no, it is fantastic.
It feels good when you buy it knowing it's not going to go on the shelf of shame, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good feeling.
My number 25, this was the one that I said was going to be higher on my list from the original. And it was because just the overall general, like, it teaches you how to play step by step.
I know what this is.
It has the book, so you can just put everything out and you're good to go.
Yep.
I thought this was a great target version and how to like dumb it down so that way it's not too scary to play. And this is Jaws of the Lion, Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. So, like I said, everything I just said, like you don't have to worry about tiles. It's just flipping a book and placing your pieces on there or putting two books together to make a bigger map. I thought that was amazing because some of these dungeon crawl games, they get so big and massive because you have all these tiles, and while you're playing, you're searching like, oh, where is this? And especially if you get like multiple expansions, you're like, crap, I have so much of this stuff, it's hard to find it. So I really enjoyed and dig what they did for this, and I love playing this version right here.
Yeah, I with this one, the Jaws of the Lion, I only count the original Gloomhaven, so it would fall into that category. It's one of the ones I took off my list because it's too similar to one of the other games. But I get why you had it on your list.
And I only did it as 2 because of the fact that it was like the big box version of it, and then like a I shouldn't say dumbed down, but like a more
medium-sized box version of it.
Yeah, intro to it.
Yeah, none of the Gloomhavens made my list. I like them, but they just didn't make the cut.
A lot of good games out there. My number 25 could possibly be the highest ranked Stefan Feld game on my list. It was number 86 before and 12 before that. This is Trajan. What's that look for? This is Trajan. I have not played this game in a long time, but I remember I said could be.
So, qualified it.
Yeah, I am not wrong on that possibility. So, yeah, Trajan, I really like how this works. You have every player has their own rondel. You're trying to move it around. You activate the last space that you land on. That will give you a whole slew of different actions you can do. You can either build buildings, build in the Senate. They're all checking to see where theirs ranked. You can explore Italy or like Europe and stuff and expand your territory. You can just do a whole slew, get new extra ability tiles, get Trajan tiles for points. It's just so cool. I haven't played it in a number of years, but I remember just still to this day I enjoy it every single time I play it. One of the uglier games on my list As I said earlier, we're starting off very pretty, now going to ugly. And I stand by that because it gets worse from here.
Normal people do it the opposite. They want you to realize that.
Yeah, but man, the function of these games. I end on a decent looking one.
So Trajan used to be pretty high on my list. I don't know where it fell, but it's not on my top 100.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, we haven't played it in forever.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's a big part of it, too. It just doesn't get played.
And that's what I found. A lot of the ones that I haven't played in a while tend to drop.
All right.
No, Trajan didn't make my list. That I do know.
Yeah.
At least not since I started cracking plays. I might have played it once before.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's just one of those games that, for me, it was okay. So, my 25 might show up on other people's list. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. It is a Days of Wonder game.
Oh, okay. Who do you think it might be on the list?
I'm thinking there's a possibility that actually yours, but we'll see.
We'll see.
But
I'm
this
curious.
is my second highest ranked Days of Wonders game. This is Heat, Pedal to the Metal.
Oh, okay.
So, like I said, it might show up on some other people's lists. But, so this game is, it's a racing game, but it's a racing game that you're playing out a hand of cards, but there's also that aspect, there's a little push your luck aspect in it, where you're like, I got these bad cards in my hand, I need to get them out of it. Okay, well, we're going to hit that turn, but can I hopefully stop right before it so that I don't have to downshift? We'll play that card. Oh no, my biggest card just came out and we're going blasting through it. And my deck's going to get clogged up. But it's one of those games that it's just pure fun. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, say most racing games have the problem of somebody gets out in the lead, that's it. This game, it doesn't matter how far ahead you are, you're not far enough ahead. Because everybody else probably hasn't used their big cards or, they just haven't.
Decent balance, yeah.
Yeah, they haven't hit the right combination of cards. And it's the other thing, too, is you set yourself up. You choose how many cards you're going to play. So you're like, okay, you know what? Going into this corner, I'm downshifting. But I know for a fact what's in my hand, and I know coming out of this corner, I can come out screaming. Yeah, so it's one of those games. It's really well balanced. If you play 2 laps, it'd be like the balance really shows up big time at that point, because I've seen people get way ahead and then then they hit those corners and here comes everybody else, and everybody else set their hand up so that they're like, and here we go, and I'm going right through this corner and I'm going by you because you used your big cards already. So,
Yeah, you know what my favorite thing about this game is? Is that people stopped calling it a deck builder. Finally.
I've always called it deck building-esque.
it's
more card shedding.
Yeah, it's more card shedding, right?
It's card shedding and hand management.
Well, I think the
that's
reason why
very
they call
accurate,
it deck building in a sense is because when you're playing the campaign style of it, you're adding uniqueness to it.
Yeah, sure.
But, so, that is my second favorite Days of Wonder game, Heat, Pedal to the Metal.
Spoilers.
Alright, my number 25 is new to the list, but it's not a newer game. This is a Dammit Danny game here. It's one that I really dig. I have a smaller version of it, but I do want to get the bigger version of this game, and this is Spirit Island. It's probably going to be higher on someone else's list. But no, I do love it, especially because of the asymmetry. And luckily enough, when we played it as a group, our characters... I can't think of the work. Synergize very well with each other. Yeah. You take care of the people, I'll take care of all these huts and stuff like that, and then it was fantastic. I enjoy the mess out of this game. So much so, like I said, I do want to get the bigger version of it. It's a fun little co-op. I've heard, I haven't played it, I've only played a 3-player version of it, but if you play at 4 players, it might overstay its welcome a little bit, but I just think it's fantastic. I love the synergy between the characters we played. Yep. If you just get the base game or the small one, which is Horizons of Spirit Island, you have more than enough just in that aspect of it. So, yeah, I do love this, but like I said, you're going to see it higher on someone else's list. Spirit Island.
On the smaller version, are those spirits able to be transferred over into the bigger version?
100%.
Yes.
Definitely.
That's always cool.
Yeah, definitely worth it. And they're all unique, too. Super good.
So, my number 24 is a crossover, and it is a Christmas game.
Aha! It's me!
That
Oh,
is
man.
Santa's Workshop. Again, it's worker placement. You're gonna find that theme in mine a lot, and it's like you said, it's just the base game alone was just fantastic. It's easy to play. I do love the fact that it does have that like family version. Just because my wife likes playing games with me, but not like super into it, and I'm pretty sure I can get her into the more family side of that and still get to play something I like versus like Cards Against Humanity type setup. So I like that they gave you that option. So
Cool. My number 24, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is where the art gets questionable at best, but this is a phenomenal game. So much that
Did you put Fredericus on this list?
No. You two both really adore this game. And I know that as a fact because there's a reason this has gone up there. That we are willing to tolerate how bad the cover is to play this game. So much that they remade the cover and it's still really bad. This is Concordia.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like it's
that was the game I was hinting at. That was going to be higher on people's list.
Concordia is so good. It was previously on my 65. It was new last time. And here's the thing. I just recently got another Matt Gertz game. And it has the cover that's even way worse than that. Like, you think Concordia is bad. Look at this other cover. And mostly the reviews are really positive. So I think that's kind of his style, is make really great games and put the worst art just to try to see what happens. Yeah, I love this game. Have you played this one, GameheadGeek?
No, I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
What's the one where you have rats in it?
Notre Dame?
Okay, it was Notre Dame. Then no, I have not.
Yeah, so Concordia, you're spreading around the Mediterranean. You're settling the different areas. You're building a multi-use card system that you can play as your actions. It's similar, the similar style, like you were saying with Aquatica, right? You either play your cards out in different ways, or you pull them back. When you pull them back, then you can start using them again, but that also wastes a turn, and you kind of want to do it as efficiently as possible without wasting your turns. But you also want to really build off some cool combos. And I like how the cards are also your scoring at the end of the game, too. You're going to get points for different categories. So you're trying to get the same style card, but you don't always need the same action. It's really brilliant how it works. It does a lot of similar things, but everything it does has this new little twist to it that makes it just feel really refreshing. Concordia, brilliant game by number 24.
All right, so the way this happened to work out, number 24 is my favorite Days of Wonder game.
Okay. I think I know which one it is.
So, your guesses?
I don't think it's Ticket to Ride. I think it's either Ticket to Ride or probably Five Tribes.
Ticket to Ride.
It's Five Tribes.
Oh.
So
I was thinking it wasn't Ticket to Ride. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was Five Tribes.
I do like Ticket to Ride, but Five Tribes is the Mancala mechanism, the different ways you can play, the board state changes. I mean, it's one of those games that just it works for me. I know a lot of people don't like necessarily how long it takes, but it just works when it comes down to it. The gens. I get this power to mitigate this.
Mm-hmm.
You can do set collection. You can do area control. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's just a nice mix of everything out there. So, for me, and like I said, the big thing that brings it together is that Mancala mechanism, because you rarely see that mechanism used. Mm-hmm. So it's just fun to be able to go like, okay, well, Danny, you're collecting a lot of guys over there on the side. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the assassin and kill one of those guys.
Yep.
So, but like I said, that's for me. It is my favorite Days of Wonder game. That is
Five Tribes is fun.
I do like Five Tribes. It fell off my top 100, and I think it's because of lack of play. I haven't played this in years.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think I've played it since I started tracking.
Oof.
So
I think the last time I played it, it was when I bought the expansion. You came over and we played it. Where it caves and mountains in there.
And honestly, I would love them to do a Five Tribes duel, because I don't like the fact that you have to use your two pieces to have a two-player game in Five Tribes. So if anybody's going to do a dual version of a game that he already done, it should be Bruno Cathala.
It should be Cathala,
All right, so my number 24 is a Dammit Dom game on this list. In fact, we were kind of talking about it in between recordings because the Kickstarter is supplying the expansions for this. It was originally on last time at 49. It's climbed because just more plays, and I love everything about it. Going up tracks and terraforming. In a sense, your planet. This is Planet Unknown.
Oh, wow.
Every time I get this to the table, it's just a hit. Both my game groups really love it. I have the new deluxe version over there, which means somebody's getting my other version of it. I love the Lazy Susan. Everything about this game. The component quality is through the roof. The gameplay is fantastic. Always going up on tracks. I enjoy the mess of this one. Planet Unknown.
And the fact that it can play 6 people.
Yeah.
And well.
Quick, too.
Yeah.
It's not going to take forever.
Right.
Yeah.
This is one that I think my other group would really like too.
It limits the choices in a good way.
Yeah.
That you only have 2 choices.
Yep.
But when it's your turn, you get to pick what the choice is.
Yep. That's such a cool mechanism. It shouldn't work as well as it does.
Yeah.
And it really does.
And it's asymmetrical, too. So.
Yeah. It's so good.
So my number 23. This one is a Daniel issue.
Hey!
This was World Wonders.
Okay. Yeah. Good one.
So this game is, again, and it's kind of like Planet Unknown with that polyomio trying to figure things out, get stuff set up, and the fact that they have like actual wonders sticking out of your board, and they're not just little cardboard tokens or anything like that, or little chintzy cardboard little standees. Like, it's an actual little wood token, and by the time everything's done, you're just like, this looks really cool. So I definitely like this one. I need to pick up the expansion for this for sure on this.
I have the expansion for it, and I have the little dice tower promo. And it's a little dice tower that you put on the map.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I definitely need to see if I can find that.
But yeah, no, I do enjoy that game a lot. I don't know where it fell on my list, but it's not in the top half of it. So, you're number 23.
No, you're about to skip us to here.
No, I was just
Number
trying to remember
23.
what number we were on.
My number 23 was 56 last time, and the one prior to that was 23. It bounced back, apparently. I don't know how it ranked so low last time, but this time, you remember how I said like it went from beautiful games to okay art to really bad art? This doesn't even have art. This is a 2-player abstract wooden strategy game, of course. But man, does it look it. This actually was even in the movie Mean Girls as a set piece.
Is it Corridor?
Corridor? Yeah.
Corridor.
Okay.
Corridor. Yeah, the one with the mazes. And so much that there's even a knockoff version of this at Five Below. Don't buy it. If you see it, damage the product so that people can't buy it. Because
Don't they have a Pac-Man version of this too?
They do. They just recently came out with the Pac-Man version of Corridor. I love this game. It's so good. You're all you have to do is get to the other side, and on your turn you either move your pawn once or add a maze wall. You can't cross maze walls. You can't completely block off your opponents. They have to be able to at least somewhat get there, but know that you will probably get stuck in that same maze, so you just got to make it more efficient for you to get through than they do, despite their best efforts. I love this game. Oh my god, it works every time. Corridor. I'm getting excited. I want to go play it now. Like, just talking about it. That's how much I like this game. So, yeah. My number 23.
Alright, so my number 23 is a game of tracks.
I do like tracks.
You do like tracks.
I very much like tracks.
I think you do actually like this game.
Is it a Stonemaier track game?
Oh, yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Oh, yes.
This is Tapestry. So,
This is good.
yeah, this game...
This might be on my list if I owned it.
So, yeah, this game, you choose what you want to do, and you focus on it. It's really that simple. You try to last as long as you can in the rounds, but you also get to choose when you reset. You only get 5 turns, but when you reset, you do get another power and a card, so it makes that decision interesting. But because the earlier you reset, the better stuff you get. But the more you go, the more points you score. So the later, so it's one of those things you have to balance it. And like this game, and then when they added the expansions, they worked even better. So There's a little bit of everything in it. You've got tracks, you've got area, you've got tile placement, you've got the whole 9 yards. And for me, it's just one of those games that works really well. So that is my number 23, Tapestry.
Tapestry, I think, fell off my top 100, and it's just because lack of plays. I haven't played it in a while. I know it was on here at one point, so I have to look up the stats, but yeah. I do like the game. It just fell off because we don't play it.
Yep.
You need to play the expansion.
I want to. Oh, man, you don't understand. All right, my number 23 has been mentioned twice already, I think. I think it was GameheadGeek and number 2 over here. It is one of my favorite push your luck aspects. It's been on my list inconsistently, too. It was originally at 19. Last time it was 24, and now it's 23, and this is the Quacks of Quedlinburg. I do enjoy the push your luck, and as I mentioned about caution signs, this is another one of those games that give you that gut-busting aspect where you're trying to egg someone on and it blows up in their face. It is so fantastic. I do want to try the expansions, but it's a perfect game without expansions, so... I enjoy everything about it. I have the upgraded components from Board Game Geek, which is the resin pieces. I think it's great. I love everything. The bag building, probably the best bag building game I have on my list, honestly.
Yeah. Probably. It's even worse though when you tell somebody like, oh, just go for it, and they get the perfect chip, and they finish out the round, and you're like, are you kidding me?
That was the riskiest. You still laugh at it.
My personal favorite about it is like, I'll go if you go, and that sort of thing, where you're both like...
the wheeling and dealing right there, yeah. And 20 real dollars.
All right, you're 22.
All right, my number 22 has been mentioned, so another crossover, and I don't know if this was mentioned twice. I know Daniel mentioned it. I don't know if Dom mentioned it, but it is Lost Ruins of Arnak. Again, it's just one of those.
He hasn't mentioned it. He hasn't mentioned
it
yet.
Okay. I was making sure because I was like,
I am making a guess right now. It's in his top 10.
I would say top 15.
I'll say top 20.
Anyways, but it's like, I mean, I've even done 3D prints for this to make it look more like runes and stuff like that. I really enjoy this game, and you're right. When that expansion came out, it really did help it out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I championed this one more because I know when this came out, I think you were really into Dune.
Oh yeah,
and I liked Dune, but and that's especially for someone who loves reading that book. But I really liked Lost Ruins of Arnak over it. So
I'm a very big sucker for asymmetrical powers. That's why I love Dune so much, is because every character played differently. When they added that in the expansion, it just shot it to the top for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like a 50-50 on Lost Ruins, but when we played with the expansion, I'm like, okay, that's what it needed to be. That was right. Cool. My number 22 is the highest ranked dexterity game on my list. This is because it's number 22, and there's why. It was previously number 57 and 119 before that.
Is this Rhino Hero?
No.
Really?
I really like Rhino Hero, but
has it been mentioned already?
No.
Okay.
And you hate this game. You might like it. I don't know. The GameheadGeek might like it too, but I know you hate it. And it's not Lupin Louie.
I was gonna say.
Don't worry. Call the britches. No, it's not. So I am an absolute I grew up going to arcades. That was kind of my big thing. And I am like a pool hustler when it comes to air hockey. So
I don't hate this game. It's fine. You
just don't like putting your hand under the table.
I don't like the underneath.
Right. Yeah, I get it. You don't like that part of it.
This is a family-friendly show.
I'm not implying anything. You don't like to not see the
Look how red you're making GameheadGeek.
We're colorblind. How can you tell? All right, so no. He could be turning green for all we know.
No, that's right. Don't worry. I'll help you out.
All right, sounds good. No, Clask is basically like an air hockey tabletop version of it. It's less of a board game and more just absolute shenanigans. And there's so many fun like trick shots that you can pull in the game. One of my favorite things to do is when you can shake like the piece underneath the table and make it look like your pawn is just like freaking out and like enraging all of a sudden. And every once in a while, like back in the day, I used to be able to play air hockey, and if my opponent angered me enough, I could actually get the puck off of the table and hit him with it. It's rare that I ever needed to do that, but I was able to hit it in a way where it left the table and pummel him, which is hilarious. And
the only time he can actually be physical because he can't throw a punch.
Yeah, probably not. We've never had to get to the point of throwing blows yet. But in this version, if you do that right with the pawn, you can actually launch your pawn at the other player, and it's just absolute shenanigans and all hell breaks loose. It's just funny. And then the pieces that get stuck to you as you're playing, like they get knocked around, and you're like, oh no, and you're like avoiding it. It gives that pawn personality of like just freaking out, flopping around the table. Absolute hilarity. Classic, yeah. I knew this was going up there.
I always hate it because I own it. I love it. It's a great game. But I always feel like I'm further away from that hole than it falls in. I'm like, God damn it.
Oh, yeah. Like when you fall into your own hole, you're like, well, the round's over. I want to buy the 4-player version. I imagine that's absolute chaos.
I need to play this
I want to try that one too.
Have you not played Class?
I have not played
It's
Class.
a fun game. Like I said, he says I hate it. It's just I have an issue with like not being able to see what my hand's doing. I that's why I like air hockey so much, is because I can do it over the top of the table.
See, I like foosball, so... Like,
foosball is amazing.
So, like, yeah, I think it's like... I think I'd like this one.
Oh, I think you would dig it.
It's just absolutely silly. Maybe I'll bring it or something sometime.
I always kick myself on this because at one point Target had a bunch of these and they clearanced them all out, and I never picked one up. So I ended up having to buy full price, but I was like, man, it was like $20 at one point at Target.
Oh, I would buy multiple copies just because I love it. Right? Yeah. I already have the backup coins, the backup pawns, magnets, extra pieces. I love it. It's so good.
All right, you're 22.
So my 22, while not a crossover, has actually been mentioned already in an episode before. It is worker placement with the timer. It's Court of the Dead, Mourner's Call. It was a game I picked up on Kickstarter on a whim. Because it was one of those games I looked at. Right? Yeah. And I was like, this sounds cool. I'll check it out. Well, it was much more than just worker placement. So you get your workers a couple different ways. But you also have to pay in to keep certain tracks down so that everything is, stays kosher.
I think it was mentioned between episodes.
Was it?
Yeah,
it might have been mentioned between episodes. It was mentioned in passing.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this is a game.
I see what you did there, and I don't like it.
It's an IP game, and it was just one of those games. I know nothing about the IP, but it was a game that I picked up, and it just worked really well. The area control, the worker placement, the cards. And the fact that you get to choose your starting goal, and you can choose which faction you want to go with. Granted, when a couple people choose the same faction, it doesn't tend to work out very well for them, and the person that chose opposite tends to be able to work pretty easily with it. But there is also the thing of, even when you choose your goal, usually there'll be two different goals, even in that same faction.
No, I did enjoy it. It's like I said when we were talking about it in passing, it just needs more gameplay.
Yeah.
I only played it the one time. I found it fine. I liked it. It's worker placement, so it's just something that I need to play more.
Now, did this get you more intrigued from the IP now?
I've never actually even still haven't looked
at it. But now have
IP.
you wanted to now? Because
no, not really.
Okay.
The game itself is fine for me, and
because I always appreciate it when a game does that. We're like, now I want to go look into the IP now because of the game.
So, no, it's just one of those games. Bring out a Halloween because it's got that Halloween vibe.
That's right. Spooky.
Yep. And, get it played. So that's Court of the Dead, Mourner's Call.
Cool. All right, so for my next two, they're both new to the list, so that's pretty cool. But only one of them is an actual new game. The other one I just recently got to play, and it went gangbusters. But the first one here, I'm a sucker for multi-use card games, but I'm also a sucker for smart use of cards and fantastic gameplay from just card playing. And this one, when we finally played a version of it, we actually fought over this. When you saw it at Game Nerds, when we were in Dallas, you're like,
really?
Mine, and grabbed it. So I had to buy it, but I really love it. It's an engine building in a sense. It's Viking theme. Those are really hitting for me. This is Gnar. Wow. I love this game a lot. It is Again, I love small box card games
Yep.
and smart card play aspect of these games. And I like the fact that if I'm going to take this is the power I'm going to get, but I'm going to get everything in that same suit that power is going off and triggering. And then I'm using these cards to help me gather this thing over here, these areas or whatever. I forget what those are called up there, but like the locations in a sense. I adore this game, and it goes down in both game groups. We like it. My other game group loves it, and it's because of that, just that engine building aspect and how you trigger these, and then using these to gather these, and it's the first person basically to hit 40 points, and then whoever has the highest score after that wins.
Yeah.
I love everything about this game. Gnar.
The one part I like is that the card you play dictates the card you're taking next.
Yeah.
So you want to play a certain color, and you're like, but that's not the color I need that it's going to give me.
Right.
So that's one of the things I like about that choice.
You just feel so darn
Clever when you're playing.
Yeah.
It rewards the player indefinitely. It's so good.
All right, the last one for this one.
Last one for me is, it's the unmatched,
Tales del Maze?
huh?
The co-op Tales del Maze?
Yes, yes. And this most likely will go higher when Ninja Turtles comes out, because it's Ninja Turtles, and there's some good Ninja Turtle games, but I really feel like this will definitely do it. But, I mean, I liked Unmatched, and I didn't really pick it up until I had played Tales to a Maze, and it just, after that, I was like, well, that way I can start bringing some of these characters into this. But I like the co-op aspect of it. I like that you're fighting all these, the Mothman, or going with the aliens. And I mean, it's just the quality is amazing. How the cards play out, and trying to make sure that you're using them right, so you don't shoot yourself in the foot at some point. I mean, it's definitely a great game. So, like I said, this will most likely go up higher when I get my turtles.
And I think the big problem with why you went into this one later than other people in this group is because you were like this guy over here and went all into the Funkoverse rather than the actual good one.
I did the Funkoverse because the Funkoverse offered more characters that I liked, like Harry Potter and Batman and
the Golden Girls.
Oh,
yeah, Golden Girls.
Golden Girls, yeah.
Unmatched is cool and all, but you ain't gonna fight with a cake. So shut up. I love it. I agree with you. That was good. All right, my number 21?
21 is the last one?
Yep.
Is a crossover from this episode.
With who?
You.
Hitster.
No.
Oh. Spirit Island?
Spirit Island, yeah.
I thought this was going to be higher.
I figured this would be in the top 10.
I thought so too, but last time it was on my list, it was number 39.
That's why I went with Hitster first, because I thought this was going to be in the top 10.
Only reason it is not higher. The only reason, honestly, that it's not higher is because of how long of a game it is, and we played it with 4 players once, and us 3 played it pretty quickly, but 4 players that aren't hardcore gamers, it's outstayed its welcome. That was the biggest thing, and it was a definite down note for a lot of them. Other than that, though, the way it works, that's one of my son's favorite games now. It's incredibly interesting how you build your decks, how you're trying to beat down the characters, how you're trying to, just use your powers in very unique ways, spreading your influence across the lands, destroying that, and just building up these massive combos. And it works so well. I started off pretty, the games got uglier and uglier, and now we're back to regular. This is a good-looking game. The components are good quality. Even the smaller version where everything's just cardboard tokens and stuff, it's functionally, it works really well. And the fact that they're all combinable is awesome. So, Greater Than Games did a great job of this. Spirit Island.
All right. My number 21 is my highest rated CMON game.
Rising Sun?
No.
Blood Rage.
Sheriff from Nottingham.
No. Interestingly enough, I've played a lot
75
with
Main
Daniel.
Street.
Zombie Side?
No, not Zombie Side.
Wait, Simon, a lot of this with me?
Mm-hmm.
Do I own it?
You own it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. It's Marvel United.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marvel United.
I keep forgetting that CMOD. I always think Spin Master for some reason.
It's only the base box is Spin Master. Everything else is CMOD. So yeah, Marvel United is it's one of the simple co-ops, but for a 12-card deck, and just symbols on the cards, each one of your characters does feel different. It does feel with it they are kind of doing what they're supposed to be doing. You play Captain America, he feels more like it's more about leadership. It's more about helping out other people. You play the Hulk, it's all Hulk smash.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just one of those games. And then the hit system, if the bad guy hits you, it's easy. You discard a card, goes to the bottom of your deck.
If you play Spartan Noir, you get your butt kicked. That's what
it did. Yeah. So it's just one of those games though that everything I'm getting everything for it. I will eventually play everything for it because it's just so easy to get to the table. And I can't wait for the new stuff coming out, from other IPs. So that is my number 21, Marvel United.
So I have a question for you, because I know you guys have played this more than I have. On a percentage, how much of your Marvel United have you played?
Here, I'll take this answer. No.
Well, it depends. Are we counting the Kickstarter boxes as well? Because I haven't really dug as much in there, so probably about 20-30%, if that.
Yeah, I
just
think
because
I'm only at like
those
2%.
Kickstarter boxes, there's a lot in there.
Yes.
No.
Exactly. Yeah, it's probably somewhere around.
But him and me, like
20%.
base games, we've played a good amount because usually when it's just him and me,
That's what you play.
that's all we play is Marvel United. Okay, we're gonna try this, and now we're gonna try this. Now we're gonna try this one.
So this is higher than Champions for you.
Yeah, I was surprised actually.
I am surprised,
But I think that was
I know
because
you're a champion for champion. Like, I mean, no pun intended, but like you love that game.
I think because it didn't get to the table last year, whereas Marvel United got to the table for
Wow,
3 or 4
Oh,
times.
yeah, we on one night we played like 5-6 games of it.
Yeah.
Ooh, no
And then
kidding.
there was a couple other nights when you guys couldn't be here. We were just like, oh, you know what? Let's try this box.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, then one of them was like when I just gotten the new Into the Spider-Verse version of it too. So like that base game of there. So yeah, we played a lot of that too.
Wow.
All right, so my last one for today, my number 21, is another one that's new, but it's not a newer game, but it's new to me because I actually won a copy of this when we were doing like a surprise kind of raffle type thing for one of our all-day games at the shop. And this one is the successor to one of the games that is going to be higher on my list. There's no ups and forgetting about it. So spoiler alert, this is going to happen. But this one, I do love the aspect of this game. You get 2 words, and you have to give 1 clue for both those words. And it does the same thing that Caution Signs does, where you add extra stuff in there to make it a little bit more difficult. And I love the mess out of this. This is a co-op from Repos Production. This is so clever.
Wow.
I enjoy this one. It's an interesting word game because one of my favorite things when we talk about our gamer criteria, those memorable moments, I had one that was triangle and boss. And so one of my clues was Ganondorf because you got the triangle from Legends of Zelda and you have a boss battler that's the guy you got to fight. In the games, and it works so well, but you have to do it for 4 different things, and so somehow he's like, how do I get stick and cake to work for me and stuff like that. So I enjoyed the mess out of this game. It's fantastic. Great component quality too. The little clover thing that you get and the little cards that you get from it, really good. So Soul Clover, number 21.
One thing I like is that extra card. No matter how much you think, I've got this unlocked, that extra card works.
Yeah.
It's
so every time.
You know, it's sad. I have not played that one yet.
Oh, it's good.
We'll fix that next time.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, do you guys have anything to say before we head out? Is there any surprises from that one?
No, not really. I mean, they're
I can tell you one of my biggest surprises is that Spirit Island wasn't in the top 10.
like other than that, like that was
my top 10 is just solid locked in. I mean, it's.
I mean, we were all waiting for the ugly games.
Yeah.
And I started off strong with some Inuit and Earth and stuff. Man, it's like beautiful, beautiful. And then Concordia comes in here, and you're like,
and then he runs off a cliff.
so much to just stop doing art.
What were you gonna say, Gamehead?
I said it's all trash.
It's all, yeah, it happens. It happens. All right. So we want to thank you for tuning in. If you ever want to email us directly, you can email us at everydayboardgames2020@gmail.com. Whether that's to enter in future contests, whether that's to say hello, or give us ideas for future episodes. We also have an Instagram, instagram.com/everydayboardgames. Check it out there, follow us, and you can see all the silly shenanigans that we like to post on there.
As well as all video re-uploads and reviews are found on YouTube under youtube.com/@everydayboardgames. And if you like what we do, there are 3 things you can do to help us grow on that platform. Subscribe if you're not, like the video, and comment down below and tell us your thoughts on the subject.
We also stream our episodes live at twitch.tv/everydayboardgames. Please follow us there. I don't know why you're laughing, GameheadGeek. Please follow us there so we can be notified when we join in, or when we stream our episodes live, and join in on a conversation. We love our input during our live episodes from all of our friends. And you had to throw me off that way. And yeah, twitch.tv/everydayboardgames. Also subscribe to us. That helps us run the channel.
All audio versions can be found on most podcast platforms under Everyday Board Games Podcast. This includes Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and Apple.
We want to thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I've been your host, Daniel.
And I've been your host, Daniel.
And I'm Dammit Dom.
And I'm Gamehead Geek.
And we want to thank you for listening to Everyday Board Games.
And remember, every day is a good day for board games.